All right, so let's walk through the steps necessary to establish a positioning campaign for your good or service. You start building position by consistently managing the 4 P's. So from the product perspective, it's important that we have a consistent marketing strategy that's all lined up. So for instance, if we're going to position our product as high quality, then we want to make sure that the product is of high quality, the price reflects that, the advertising reflects that, and the communication strategy and the distribution strategy also supports that. You build a position by differentiating yourself from the competition. That is, identifying how we are different from the competition in a factual way and then going from there. There are 2 basic ways to establish a position. One is to identify positioning holes, and the other is to reposition the competition. An example of identifying the positioning holes might be a new toothpaste company that goes in and tries to establish itself as a toothpaste in that particular business. Most of the great positioning positions are already been established. For instance, Crest has positioned itself as the cavity fighter. Colgate has positioned itself as having MFP, maximum fluoride protection. That's right, MFP. And of course, then Colgate is has positioned themselves as the fluoride toothpaste. Well, if you're going to come into that marketplace, you can't take away that cavity fighter toothpaste position from Crest, and you can't become the fluoride toothpaste because Colgate already has it. So what you're going to need to do is figure out a different place to position your product. So an example would be a company like the Lever Brothers came out with came out with Close-Up, and Close-Up was positioned as the Fresh Breath toothpaste. And of course, now we have products like Aquafresh, which positions itself as cavity fighting and white teeth and fresh breath. And you know it has all of those because you can actually see 3 different colors in the toothpaste. Another example would be to reposition the competition. 7-Up was the most successful company to do this in the 1970s when they referred to themselves as the Uncola. That is, they argued that all the colas were dark brown soft drinks and theirs was the crisp, clear lemon lime alternative. Theirs was the Uncola. To establish your position, there's 3 things that you need to do. First, you need to do a self-analysis. This goes back to the old notion of let's not try to be something we're not. So what position do we currently own and what position do we want to own? Then we need to do an attribute analysis. What benefits do we really offer? Do we really match the position that we're trying to establish? And then finally, can we deliver on our positioning statement? That is, will our product really be what we are trying to position it as? And if the answer to that is no, then we need to go back and think through this again. Next, we need to do a competitor analysis. That is, how are we different from the competition and how do we want to be different? Take an example of Buick. How is Buick different from their competitors and how do they want to be different? What positions do their direct competitors own and what position does Buick want to own? It really is us versus them. In this case, Buick versus the competitor. Then we need to do a customer analysis. What does the customer value in this product category? Are the benefits that they are interested in functional benefits like problem-solving benefits? Are there symbolic benefits that are benefits that are more socially oriented, or are they experiential benefits? That is, benefits that stimulate the mind or body. And then how do these differences discussed in the competitor analysis create value for the customer? And then we need to identify the signals used by the competitors to evaluate products. And then we need to, of course, once again, then focus on differences across segments. We may turn out that we need to focus on a very specific segment that wants a very specific thing in that particular product category. Once again, then, meaning we can't appeal to everyone, but in fact to just one specific segment. This leads us to the notion of the USP, which stands for Unique Selling Proposition. That is, what is it that we are actually selling? What is it that we have in our product that creates value? So if I'm trying to sell Buick automobiles, what's the unique selling proposition for Buick automobiles that creates value to the consumer? Once again, the unique selling proposition needs to be a reason to buy. It needs to be provable. That is, I need to be able to provide evidence that it is in fact, that the statement that we're making is true. And then I need to be committed to that USP, that unique selling proposition, and make sure that all of my marketing strategies over time support that unique selling proposition. All right, so creating a position from the unique selling proposition. So I identify what the unique selling proposition is, and then I say, can I sum it up in one sentence? For instance, take you as an individual. Let's say that you're on the job market and you're looking for a job. What's your unique selling proposition? That is, why should someone hire you? And can you sum it up in just one sentence? And then, what signals do customers use to determine that position or classify brands? That is, how are we going to demonstrate to customers in a very simple way that we have the unique selling proposition that we claim we have? And then, of course, what are the key associations that best signal our position? And then, of course, the idea would be from now on, every decision the organization makes must consider the impact it will have on the position. About 8 or 9 years ago, the University of Nevada at Las Vegas used the positioning statement that we are the premier urban research university. Now, that's not a very good positioning statement because it's got lots of commas in it, and it probably should have been something simpler than that. But if we believe that we are trying to position ourselves as the premier urban research university, then every decision that we make after we establish that position has to support the idea of a premier urban research university. Well, what kind of associations might we use? Well, we might use our product attributes or the benefits sought. We might use some sort of symbolic benefits. That is, people, so the idea is that people who have a country club membership also own a Cadillac. We might use a relative price association. That might include budget or economy, value, or premium luxury. We might talk about use or application. If you recall that the GMC brand of General Motors refers to their products as professional grade. You also might recall that the Titleist golf ball, Pro V1 golf ball, is marketed as the ball that the pros use. All right, and we also might have an association associated with quality. That might include durability, reliability, or quality in terms of performance. Other types of associations might include customer type. The best players use our product. The pros use our product, those sorts of things. It might be an association with a celebrity or spokesperson. We know who some of our favorite celebrity and spokespersons are for particular products. I think it's sort of funny now that Kentucky Fried Chicken has brought back Colonel Sanders, and of course, about every 3 or 4 weeks, they bring in a new actor to play Colonel Sanders. And so I think that's sort of funny. It might be in a lifestyle association. That is, this is the car that yuppies drive. And it might be a reposition competition sort of an association. It could be country or geography. Think about vodkas. Vodkas are all positioned by country, right? There's Finlandia vodka from Finland. There's Icy vodka from Iceland. There's Chopin vodka from Poland. There's Grey Goose vodka from France. And of course, there's Stolenice vodka from Russia. We also might have some sort of experiential association. That is the way the product makes us feel. There's a recent Cadillac ad done by one of the actresses from the TV series Grey's Anatomy. And she's doing a Cadillac commercial, and she says, when you turn on your car, does it return the favor? That's really all about the experience of driving a Cadillac. Some association building tools that you might have would be the product features, the price, the packaging, the slogan, the quality, the distribution, the advertising, the symbols that we use, sponsorships, and website and other social media today are very important association building tools. And so when we decide what the associations are going to be, these are the different ways we might make sure that the associations become attached to our specific product. Now it's your turn. You can try this for any product, but let's, for an example, think about Buick. You know, Buick is struggling to stay as a vital automobile company. They're a division of General Motors. And so you think about a car company like Buick. First, you would want to write down what are the benefits offered by Buick. And then ask yourself, how is Buick factually different from their competitors? And then what customer segments is the Buick likely to appeal to, and what are those, and so what benefits are we going to sell, and how, and then how is that shown in the Buick? And then we really need to write down the one sentence USP, unique selling proposition for your product. You know what Buick's slogan is right now? It's, that's a Buick. That's their slogan, arguing that it doesn't look like a Buick. Not really sure you can sell cars that way. Now it's your turn, continued. For each unique selling proposition, list the associations you would use to single that position. And as you try this with someone like Buick, you realize it's harder than you think. And next week we'll have a little offline assignment for you to complete to work on this and to pick up a couple of extra points.